Well, hello, Canada. Welcome to Agriculture in the Classroom Canada's Great Canadian Farm Tour. Good morning to most of you, and good afternoon if we have folks joining us from Newfoundland. Today is March 1st, so that means it's the first day of the 11th annual Canadian Agriculture Literacy Month. This is a national program that encourages students, just like all of you, from kindergarten to grade 12, in all 10 provinces to learn about and celebrate Canada's incredible agriculture and food story. My name's Joanne Ross, and I'm the very lucky person who gets to lead Agriculture in the Classroom Canada as Executive Director. And I am so proud today to be one of your hosts. And we're going to travel to Saskatchewan today to kick off our month. And it's really interesting to be traveling to Saskatchewan right from my home farm. I'm coming to you today from just north of Minnedosa, which is a community in the western part of Manitoba, and we're right in the middle of Canada. And since we're traveling to Saskatchewan today, I even have my Saskatchewan coffee mug all ready to go, full of coffee. So before we get on to the tour, I have a few little items that I want to go over before we get started. First, we really want to know where you're coming from today. So say hi to us in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from and give us a big hello. You can also ask questions in the chat, and that's why we're here today. We really want to hear from you, and you can ask anything you want from these awesome farmers that we're going to be touring with. And we want as many questions as possible. We'll have time at the end, but even if you have a question during the tour, don't hesitate to put it in the chat. All these farm tours that we're running throughout the month will be recorded, and they'll be available on Agriculture in the Classroom Canada's YouTube channel. And so even if you miss a tour through the month of March, don't worry, because they're all being uploaded onto our YouTube. I'm really excited to introduce you to my co-host, my partner today. And she's another member of Agriculture in the Classroom Canada. Hello, Colleen Krooniken.
Hi, Joanne.
First and foremost, Colleen is also a farm girl. She comes from just outside London, Ontario. And also, she's a certified teacher. So we're really lucky to have Colleen on our team. She's our education program assistant. And I'm so happy you're here today, Colleen. I hope you're ready for a big morning.
I am ready. Thanks, Joanne. I'm really excited, and welcome to all of our participants. I'm very honored to introduce you today to our farmer, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. So today we will be visiting Loveholm Holsteins. This farm is owned and operated by Michael and Jessica Lovich. The farm is located near Balgonie, Saskatchewan, in the southeast part of the province. The Lovich family moved here from Alberta 6 years ago to continue their dream of dairy farming. They have 3 girls: Riata, she's in grade 7, Renelle is in grade 5, and Raylin is in grade 2. And everyone in the family has a role to play on the farm helping with chores. Loveholm is home to 70 milking Holstein cows as well as 100 other Holstein animals. They also have a few beef cows, some pigs, horses, cats, and a dog. The focus for the farm is to produce delicious and nutritious milk for Canadian consumers. We're so excited to have you here today with us, Jessica, and we can't wait to see your farm.
Well, thank you, Colleen, and good morning to everyone. I am so excited to be a part of the Great Canadian Agriculture Tour. It's going to be awesome, and I'm very excited to be able to show you around our farm today. So you'll notice that I'm not actually in the barn today. I'm sitting at my kitchen table. It can be hard to predict the weather in Saskatchewan on March 1st, and it's also really hard for me to show you everything in 12 minutes. So what I've done is I've taken videos just within the last couple of weeks of things that have happened at the farm and what a day in the life of our farm might look like. And I put them together so that we can see it. And absolutely ask me questions if there's something that you really wanted to see. Well, I'll do my best to try and talk about it. And yeah, I welcome all your questions.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be a great tour. We're virtual anyway, so I know the videos I've seen the videos and they're awesome. So we're excited to get everybody into the barn. Before we jump in, Colleen, of course, is our teacher, so she has to add some learning pieces to this tour. And we're very excited to hear about all of the learning tools for teachers and students to use throughout the month with the Great Canadian Farm Tour. So can you tell us a bit about that, Colleen?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Joanne. So our team at Agriculture in the Classroom Canada are excited to provide participants with the following items. So first, the Great Canadian Farm Tour activity book. Teachers would have received a link to this book in their emails, or you can download it from our website. So in this activity book, there is a corresponding page for each virtual tour, and every page is filled with fun activities for students to do either before, during, or after the tours. Next, throughout the tours, there will be 3 video learning breaks. The first 2 are called brain breaks, and this is where you will find the answers to the brain break questions in the activity book. There will also be a job spotlight video at the end. The last page of the activity book is the Great Canadian Farm Tour Passport. Don't forget to bring your passport along for every stop of the Great Canadian Farm Tour, because during each tour, there will be a mystery word that pops up on the screen. So you can write this mystery word in your passport beside the province that we are visiting, and also write the word in the sentence at the bottom of the passport to uncover the hidden message. Lastly, what is an event with Agriculture in the Classroom Canada without a contest? We encourage teachers to take photos of your students participating in the Great Canadian Farm Tour, working on their activity book, or with their passports and mystery sentence, and post these photos to social media. Make sure you tag us, Agriculture in the Classroom Canada, and also use the hashtag GCFT22 contest for a chance to win a prize pack for your classroom.
Awesome. I can see what you've been busy doing the last few months, Colleen. Thank you for all that. And we look forward to teachers and students taking part with all the learning pieces. Okay, Jessica, we are ready. So where are we going to go to first?
Well, we are going to see some videos that I put together about a day in the life of what happens on the farm. I first want to give a shout out to 7P in Balgony that's watching.
Awesome.
That's our hometown now, and also to Crestemere. I heard you guys registered. That's where I grew up, the school I went to school from K to 9. So glad to have you guys with us and excited to show you what it's like to live and work on our farm. And we're going to show you lots of cows in this first video so you can see how we take care of them.
Home Holsteins. Michael and I own and operate our family dairy farm with our 3 girls, Riata, Renelle, and Raylyn. And what does a typical day at our farm look like? Well, this is usually what the farm looks like when we start our day. Our first stop will be into the main milking barn that houses our milking cows. It's 5:30 in the morning, every morning, 365 days a year. We own a tie stall, which means that when the cows are in the barn, they each have their own stall to stay in, and we will bring them all their feed and the milk machines right to them. There are many different types of barns in Canada. A free stall with a parlor would have these cows able to move from stall to stall for their feed and water or to lie down, and then they would go to a separate area to be milked. Some barns actually have a robot that milks the cows. But this is our barn. It's a very comfortable barn for the cows, and we are able to give each cow individual attention. You will see that we have black and white as well as red and white Holsteins. They are all dairy cows. All the cows in here get brushed off and their tails washed on a regular basis. As well, everyone gets clipped, which means a haircut at least once or twice a year. I can reassure you, though, that our cows do get freedom to move around. This clip is from the summer. Once the snow is gone, the cows have access to an outside pasture, and they will go out every day, all day, and only come in again in the late afternoon to be milked. In the winter, we try to get them outside as often as possible, on days when it's not -35 or really windy. They go out to a yard for exercise and interaction for a few hours. We feel this is important for all our cows. This video clip is them ready to come back in, and yes, they will all head back to their stalls. One of the first chores we do in the morning is feed the cows. Our cows eat a very balanced diet. They have their own nutritionist. They eat a mix of corn silage, barley grain, hay, barley silage, and vitamin and mineral supplements. Did you know that cows eat up to 3 large suitcases full of feed every day? They also drink up to a bathtub full of water every day. All this food equals a lot of milk. So, how do we milk a cow? That will be the next chore of the day. Once all the machines are ready, we roll out and go from cow to cow with the milk machines. First, we prep the cow by washing her teats and making sure that they are clean. We also squeeze some milk out to check for milk quality and to ensure that the cows remain healthy. If we suspect anything, we will not milk the cow into the main milk line. She'll be milked in a bucket and the milk will be discarded. Next, we're going to attach the milkers. They are run on a vacuum and would feel similar to putting your hand over the end of a very low-powered vacuum cleaner. It doesn't hurt the cow and it helps to strip the milk out of the udder. The lines are adjusted and the cow will continue to milk on her own. As the cow lets down her milk, you can see it coming through the machine. Our cows average 38 to 40 liters of milk every day. That's enough for 9 or 10 big jugs of milk each. Our machines will show us how fast the cow is milking and how much milk she has given. Then, when she's done milking, the machine will automatically pull off. They don't usually come off together and crash though. Then we will dip the teats with a conditioner that helps keep the teat's skin soft and healthy, and also keeps bacteria from entering the cow's udder. This prevents mastitis or an infection in her udder. Milk quality is something that our farm strives for. Now it's on to the next set. Every day is much the same on the farm, but sometimes there's surprises and exciting events. On this particular morning, we came to the barn to find a cow having her first calf. This little girl is only minutes old, and she is already trying to get up. Good moms will lick the calf clean after it is born, and then our job is to make sure the babies get all the nutrition they need to grow strong. On a dairy farm, calves do not stay with the cows, they are raised separate. These babies are a few days old and will soon move outside to our calf hutches. That's the next job, to feed the calves. Here, we feed them at least 6 liters of milk every day. They will also start to eat a calf pellet, which is full of vitamins and minerals, protein and energy. As well, Riata gave them some dry hay. In the winter, every new baby gets a coat to help it stay warm. Each calf has its own hutch on our farm. We do this to limit the spread of disease and to keep everyone healthy, as well as be able to raise the calf individually. They'll also get vaccines to prevent sickness. When the calves are old enough, we wean them off their milk and they move into our calf barn. This is where they will get grouped together into pairs or fours. Chores here include cleaning and feeding. The heifers will eat grain, protein pellets, and dry hay in this barn for the next 3 months. When they leave this barn, they will get a different kind of vaccine that will get boosted before they have their own calf. Our farm raises all the females, called heifers. We only occasionally keep some bulls or steers, which are the boys, to sell later or for meat purposes. When they are old enough, this group will move outside into a larger group. This is mostly the same group they will spend the rest of their life with. You will notice the white tags. Every animal is identified and trackable through a radio frequency tag. We can follow this animal her whole life, even if she leaves our farm. After feeding all these animals, it's finally breakfast time. Then, during the day, we will see the rest of the herd, and around 3:30 in the afternoon, we'll do our chores all over again. As you can see, our animals are crazy and wild. We spend almost every day with every group of animals on the farm. They are part of our daily life and we love them. Sometimes our days can get long, but it is a satisfying feeling to leave the barn quietly and hear the heifers munching on their supper.
So awesome. Colleen, I have tons of questions, but are we going to jump into a brain break first?
Yes, I think we'll do that. So if everybody wants to get their activity book ready, during this brain break is where you'll find the answer to the first brain break question.
Brain break. Did you know milk contains a lot of nutrients that help our bodies to be healthy? Some of these nutrients include calcium, protein, vitamin A, and vitamin D. Thanks for learning with us.
Jessica, I love that first video. And I mean, the brain break talks about the healthy components of milk, which we all know, of course. And I couldn't help but notice your healthy, happy girls doing all those chores out there with you as a family. And I think that's one of the coolest things about a family farm is that the whole family pitches in. And I'm sure you keep your girls healthy and happy with lots of milk, of course.
Sure.
Make sure your animals and the milk that they produce are healthy and safe.
Yes, like cows are not going to produce any milk if they're not healthy, and they don't produce very much milk if they're not happy. And so the cow comfort we saw, that's part of making them happy, and the healthy. The next video kind of talks a little bit about what we do to keep the milk safe and keep people and animals safe on the farm as well. So.
Okay, well, let's go to that then and find out about
safety
and healthy
is you go through our biosecurity standards. Just like when you washed your hands a lot and wore a mask during COVID to help you and others not get sick, we do similar with our visitors here on the farm. We ask that you put your bio boots on, like Renelle's modeling, before you enter the barns. This helps prevent disease transfer from one farm to another and ensures our animals stay healthy. When your boots are on, it's time to head into the barn. In the main milking barn, the first thing you will find is our tank room. This is where the milking machines are kept and cleaned. Making sure everything stays clean is part of our biosecurity, and it helps us make sure our milk quality stays the best it can be. All the milking equipment goes through an automatic wash and sanitize cycle before every milking. The big shiny tank is where milk is kept after we milk the cows. It holds close to 5,500 liters of milk when it's full, and it's actually very small compared to some large dairies in Canada. Milk travels through the milkers out in the barn into a pipeline that runs through the barn and travels to this tank. It is stored between 0 and 4 degrees between the milkings. Our milk truck comes to pick up our milk every other day. All the milk truck drivers are also licensed and trained milk graders, meaning they have to check the quality of our milk every time it is picked up. They will take a sample to send to the lab as well. The milk will then travel to a processing plant where it will again be sampled and tested before being unloaded. Milk is hormone and antibiotic free. It is tested at several points to ensure that you drink the best milk possible. There's a lot of cleaning, sampling, and recording done on dairy farms to make sure your milk products are the best that they can be and our animals stay as healthy as possible.
Perfect. That was so informational, Jessica. It's so interesting to see all the things you guys do on your farm to keep your cows healthy.
There's a lot to see.
Yeah, it looks like it. We do have a couple questions here, so I'll bring one up. Mason is wondering how many cows you have on your farm.
Oh, perfect. Well, we have 70 milking cows that are in the barn there, and then there's about 120 outside, and that would include a few beef cows as well. So we have up to 200 head usually on our farm, somewhere between 180 and 200 head at any given time on the farm.
Wow. It sounds busy.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do
And
one more.
They calve all year round, right? So we're
Right.
always having babies.
Yeah, the babies are so cute. Okay, we'll do one more question and then we'll jump into our next brain break. So Miguel is wondering how heavy a cow is on average.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. I can't put it into kilograms because I have a not metric mind. But the adult cows are usually around 1,200 to 1,500 pounds.
Wow.
So 1,500-pound cow is a pretty big cow. And some of the smaller 2-year-olds would be about 1,200 pounds. So teachers, I'm going to get you to do the kilogram conversion. Sorry.
Someone can post it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of homework.
It also shows, Jessica, that, you know, it's so important for you and your family to be safe and remember to respect that animal because it is a very big animal.
Yes, actually, I had an encounter with a cow, and I'm just in the middle of recovering from knee surgery because I thought I was tougher than a cow, and she's not a mean cow. She's one of our pets, actually, and she just swung her hip the wrong way and hit my knee the wrong way, and I wound up with ACL surgery. So,
wow.
Accident, totally preventable, probably my own fault, not the cow's fault at all. But it just shows that they're just big.
Yeah,
they are big.
Very big. Okay, so with that, it's now time for our second brain break. Listen closely to record the correct answer in your activity book.
Brain break. Did you know the Blue Cow logo is on milk products that are made using 100% Canadian milk? When shopping for milk, cheese, yogurt, and other milk products, try looking for this label. Thanks for learning with us.
Oh, that Blue Cow label. I always look for it when I'm shopping and make sure that I'm buying good Canadian dairy products. And there, oh, wrong hand, mystery word. There it is. Our today's mystery word has popped up. And we're kicking off today with the word story, l'histoire. And you want to put that beside the map of Canada in your passport because it's the #1 word and we're kicking it off hosting from Canada. So make sure you get that in there as you build out your sentence for the rest of the virtual farm tours. So Jessica, back to you. Now we all know agriculture is also very connected to technology. So I'm kind of wondering what kind of technology you have on your farm. I imagine there's quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of technology in agriculture and, you know, especially dairies. Like I mentioned before, there's lots of robots in barns and stuff. As I also mentioned before, we have a bit of an older farm, so we do lack some of the really cool technology like the robot milking machines. But we do have a few things that we use, and every year we kind of keep growing and getting a few more things as we can. Technology is expensive. So I did take a video and put together some of the technology that we use and as well just highlighted some of the work that could be done on farms and how it ties to many jobs that we have in agriculture as well.
Exactly.
For the last part of our tour, we'll explore some of the technology we use on the farm, and we will look at some of the opportunities people have to work in agriculture with our farm. Obviously, taking care of our animals is the biggest part of our day. Driving tractors to mix feed and put straw out for bedding, takes most of the time.
All right, a little bit of technical difficulties, but
You
that's
know what?
okay.
Right when we're talking about technology, of course we're going to have
Yeah.
a difficulty with technology. But Jessica, just tell us a bit about what you have in the barn and outside the barn, I'm sure, for special technology.
Sure. So what I was just going to talk about there to start with was we use a lot of tractors. That's not new technology, but taking care of the cows is a big job that usually requires at least 2 or 3 people on our farm. And so we do a lot of feeding. So we have feed mixers and that kind of equipment. It always seems to be getting bigger and better as well. And then in the barn, one of our coolest pieces of technology that has to do with feeding the cows is our robot. And we actually, in that picture of the cow that was just on that video, you would have seen back in the corner, there was a little red round thing sitting there. And it's actually a robot. Yeah, way back in the back corner. That's actually a robot, and it goes around the barn and feeds the cows. It pushes the feed back up to them. So
that is so cool. Does the robot have a name?
Well, it's just called the Juno. At first, we called it Diane because that used to be my mother-in-law used to push the feed to the cows all the time, so it took over her job. So that's what we called it. So here he's mixing feed out for the dry cows. There's the Juno right there. So he goes around 13 times a day and pushes the feed back up to the cows to make sure they always have fresh feed, so they're always able to eat whatever they want. And lots of farms have technology like that. One of the things our veterinarian recommended that we get was a pasteurizer. So this is where we put our calves' milk, and it'll superheat and super cool the milk just to kill the bacteria that might be present to make sure that the calves have the best milk possible. It's kind of like drinking milk right out of your grocery store equivalent, right? And then we'll feed it to the calves. Now, we are always constantly monitoring our milk quality. It's not that we had to get a pasteurizer because our milk was terrible or everything was getting sick. It was just an added level of assurance for the calves. One of the other pieces of technology we do use is an incubator. And so if we suspect that a cow has mastitis, which is an infection in her udder where the milk's produced, I'll take a sample and I'll try grow it on one of these plates and see if anything grows. And what that allows us to do is if something grows, I have all the sheets to diagnose it kind of on my own quickly and more time efficient. And then if that cow does require medicine, I know exactly what kind she's getting. So
did you know you were going to have to be a scientist when you started dairy farming?
I go to school for that, yeah. So
that's amazing.
This is just a shot of our fan control. Our barn is all thermoregulated. This is our family one morning after the milking. They all got up at 5 o'clock and milked with us. Yeah. So our farm can't do it on its own, though. It's not just the 5 of us all the time. We have people that, chop the corn for us. That's what you're seeing here. We have people that help us make hay. One of the big jobs we need is a mechanic. And so we have some friends that are mechanics and we can keep them pretty busy most of the year. And that allows us more time for cow care. So this is a picture of our bookkeeper. Yay, it's me. Another big job is keeping the records and keeping on top of accounting and stuff. I would rather be out there with the cows, but I can't be all the time. And then there's lots of other cool little job opportunities. This actually is a picture that a professional photographer took. So we hire a professional photographer to take cows or pictures of the cows so we can market them. And we market our genetics kind of around the world. So that's kind of unique to our farm and an employment opportunity unique to our farm. So that's kind of a quick snapshot of the farm. I know there's lots more to see and lots more to talk about, but we don't have lots more time today. But yeah. I welcome some questions and Sorry that video didn't quite work perfect, but
No, that's okay. I think you explained everything very well, and it's so cool to see that robot moving around the barn all on its own. Right now, we're going to jump into our last video break of the tour, our job spotlight, and then we'll have our Q&A session with Jessica, so make sure you're writing all your questions that you have in the chat.
Job Spotlight, powered by ThinkAg.
Heavy-duty mechanics work with vehicles, machines, and equipment. What do heavy-duty mechanics do? I look at equipment and its parts to find what isn't working right. I take apart engines to clean and fix them, and then put them back together. I help farmers keep their equipment running.
Awesome. Jessica, heavy duty mechanic. I'm a farmer too, so I know how important mechanics are on the farm. It seems every day you need one. And you touched on so many other potential careers that are connected just to your dairy farm alone. So I think that's quite amazing to think of all the folks that you work with every day beyond your farm family to help support what you're doing. It's pretty amazing to think of all of those jobs.
yeah,
So
it takes a team.
yeah, for sure, a team. And wow, your family is just amazing how you all work together. It looks like you have so much fun together every day in what you do. So that's pretty amazing. You should be really proud of that. So we want to get to some questions. This is the part we've been waiting for the whole tour, and hopefully everybody's been posting their questions in the chat. Jessica's here to talk about anything you would like to know and anything you would like to ask about her farm. Have we got some questions? Here we go. Okay, for how long can a cow produce milk after giving birth? Excellent question.
Yeah, so there's kind of a two-part answer to that. A cow can produce milk for a really, really long time, but on our farm, what we do, and this is with most farms in Canada, is she'll produce milk for 305 days. That's what we call a lactation, to make a complete record on a year. So naturally, cows would give birth every year. That's just what happens in the natural world. And so we don't try to deviate from that too much. So the cow will milk for about 305 days, and then she'll get like a 2-month vacation. So she'll make sure she goes outside and she's not producing milk. We call that her dry period, so that she has a break. And that kind of just helps the cows stay healthy, gives them a bit of a break, because producing milk is, it's a lot of work, I guess, for the cows. Dairy cows are made for that. You'll notice that they look different than beef cows, because all their energy goes into milk. So we definitely want to make sure they get a bit of a break.
I don't think I would mind a 2-month break.
No, me neither.
Thanks, that's so interesting. Okay, our next question. Let's see what Carmen is asking. How many baby cows do you have? And we call those calves, of course. Good job, Carmen.
Yeah. So this morning, I think I fed 14 bottles. So we have 14 babies that are still on milk. Had kind of a rush on babies. And then there's also 5 beef babies out there that are still with their moms. So we get a little bit of extra babies. So those are the really tiny little ones, like under 2 months old. And then in the calf barn this morning, I think there's about 15 calves that are in the calf barn that I fed this morning. So 30 calves that are under 6 months old for sure.
Wow, lots of little babies.
Yeah, and it fluctuates. Like 3 weeks ago, I think I was only feeding 10 calves, and they're always continuously growing, and we're continuously having babies, and they're always moving around. So there's always somebody.
Yeah, we have another question here about babies, about the calves. So Kaylee wants to know, what is it like when a baby is born? Do you have to help the mom at all?
Sometimes we do, yeah. The calves being born is honestly my favorite part of the farm. I love it when the babies are born. I didn't show the entire video because it can get kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like any other animal having a baby. Comes out the same way, and it's all slimy and disgusting, but so cute. So it can take a cow anywhere from an hour to 6 hours to have a baby. And usually, if we know a cow's having a baby and it seems to be taking a really long time, we will help. Um, we pull the calf basically. So what you can do if they're having troubles is pull on their feet and help them to come out of the mum. And so sometimes we have to do that. And just like in people, if the cow really has trouble, then we call our veterinarian, which is the doctor for the cows, and they will do a C-section or cesarean to take the baby out. That doesn't happen very often on our farm.
Perfect. But there's always people you can call to help.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Ooh, Xavier, he
Oh.
or she would like to know if the cows struggle when you put the milking machine on them. And there was some great footage of your family doing that. I even saw some of the girls right in there. So tell us a bit about that.
Not really. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to get used to standing in the stall, and it does take some time to get used to the milker on them, but they don't really struggle because it's actually a relief for the cow to get milked. Especially when they calve, they have swelling. It's just like people in that respect. It can be a little bit sore after you have a baby, so it feels nice to get milked afterwards. And then they just get used to it and they like it. In a robot barn, that's where they'd get extra special candy treats. And here in our barn, they get their silage and extra grain when they're milking. And so it's very relaxing for them and something that they enjoy.
Perfect. Our next question here is from Lauren, and she's wondering how you store the milk and how it gets to stores for us to buy.
Okay, so that big shiny tank that you saw is where we store the milk. It goes through some pipelines throughout the barn, like I said, on the vacuum, and it goes into that tank. Now it only stays on our farm for a maximum of 4 milkings, which is like 2 days. So it's only ever on our farm 2 days. And then from there, the truck picks it up and takes it directly to the processing plant. So here in Saskatchewan, our milk is either going to Saskatoon or sometimes to Brandon, Manitoba. And it's processed immediately. So the milk that you find in the store is usually no more than 3 to 5 days old. It's a very quick turnaround. It's always fresh. Fresh milk is always better. So the truck that I showed is a milk truck. It goes from farm to farm and picks up everyone's milk. They run continuous routes, basically 24/7, because dairy farms never stop. And so neither does the milk trucks. And then the processing plants, work a lot of days and hours as well. So that milk is always, once it's processed, then it goes out to the retailers or to the stores where you guys can buy it.
Amazing. Thanks, Jessica. I actually saw a dairy truck, a milk truck drive by my window this morning. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the Q&A. Sorry we didn't get to everyone's questions. There were so many awesome ones coming through in the chat.
And we will be putting together a document after addressing some of the questions that we didn't get to today. So thanks everybody for all those awesome questions. And Jessica, biggest thanks of all goes to you for sharing not only your story of your farm, but just your pride and passion for what you do. We can see that you love it, and it's a family affair, and it really gave us a glimpse into what it's like to be a dairy farm family. And I think you should be very, very proud of everything you're doing and supplying milk for all of us to enjoy every day. And we just want to thank you so much for that and letting us into your home.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We love to show what we do. We really do love the cows. We love the life. It is a lot of work, but we are very excited to always share it. So I welcome any more questions too. You can find our farm on Facebook as well. And happy to help you put together that document and answer all the questions that are still in the chat.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you can see lots of love coming through the chat and thanking you for what you do. And again, we just want to thank you so much for being here today on our first stop for the Great Canadian Farm Tour. And the first stop was right in the almost the center of the country. So it was just awesome to be on the prairies and in Saskatchewan. And as I think most of the teachers know that are listening in today, that this is the first tour of 11. So we have 10 more to go. And Colleen, we got to be snapping here because the next tour is actually in about 20 minutes. And we're going to head all the way over to Quebec. This tour will be of a maple syrup farm, a maple syrup producer, and her name is Bianca. And we're really excited for you to meet her. This tour will be in French, just so you know, it will be en français. And we're very excited for that.
Yes, we can't wait to head to Quebec. But first, as a final reminder, teachers, don't forget about our social media contest. So you can post your photos to social media with the hashtag GCFT22 contest for a chance to win a prize pack for your classroom.
And remember, don't forget to be using your activity books and your passports. And hopefully you recorded the first clue and the hidden message that was on your passport. And if you missed it, that's okay. You can check it out. It'll be on our social media channels today, so you can find it there.
And also these tours, they're all being recorded and they will live on Agriculture in the Classroom Canada's YouTube page for future viewing. So feel free to share it with other teachers, friends, and family. We'll see you soon in Quebec. Bye.
Thanks for joining us.